Michigan Liberation is a statewide network of people and organizations organizing to end the criminalization of Black families and communities of color in Michigan. We envision a state without mass incarceration, mass policing, and punishment. We envision a state with the best public education in the nation, single-payer health care, and thriving Black and brown communities. Here on the Respect the Roots podcast, we will lift up the stories and experiences of those impacted by mass incarceration, collective ties to the criminal legal system, and the frontline efforts to end mass incarceration.
What's up, everybody? It's Miss Marjon, and we are back for another episode of Respect the Roots. Today, we are going to do the title. The title, as you can see, oh man, you don't even see it. It is From Cell to Society, the Reentry Journey, and I've got some amazing guests in the studio. It was crazy enough to come in here with me. All right, we've got Josh. Say what's up, Josh.
Hey, how you doing?
All right, Josh. We got the Rev in here. What's up, Rev?
What's going on, Guess how you doing?
Yeah, you back. You
Good.
back. You came
house once again.
All right, and then we got Tiffany G. What's up, Tiffany?
Hey, what's up?
All right, all-star cast, y'all. Let's dig right in. The name of this episode is From Cell to Society, the Reentry Journey. All right. You know, if you followed us back in season 2, we did a series called Life After Lockup. All right. And we had some people come through. But this one, we took it to a different twist. Mm-hmm. We got you, Rev, and you do. Tell everybody kind of like what you're doing, what you're working on briefly, real quick.
We have a briefly, we're there at the Macomb facility right now. But every Sunday, every first and third Sunday, we do worship service. But we just started a program called Shadow Step. It's about a year old now, where we just launched it. It's the first of its kind in the Michigan prisons, and so it's been successful. Josh been part of the program, went through the training. He's a mentor now. I started when he was in. Now he's home, and I'll let him tell his own story. But this is what we're doing now. The Shadow Step program is
Shadow
huge.
Step.
A lot of guys are benefiting from the program. I think between the mentor and the mentees now, we're touching about 30 guys thus far. We started a new class a week out for next.
Okay.
For the Shadow Step program, so we're excited about it.
That's what's up. All right. And we got Josh P. Josh, tell everybody who you are, what you got going on and everything, Josh.
Well, as of July 17th, I have been reborn and resurrected. I had a life bit prior to that. I was sentenced to die in prison when I was 18 years old.
What?
And thanks to some change in the laws, 18-year-olds are now considered juveniles, and it is unconstitutional to allow them to rot in prison with a death sentence unless you really have a hearing and see if they're rehabilitated or not. So lucky I did the work on the inside, and doing the work, I wrote some books, started some programs, got in his Shadow Step program, turned it around, was at their church every Sunday, and really was able to showcase that I'm a human being, not just a number. So when the law change happened, I was one of the first ones out of Wayne County that was let go. So they actually sentenced me to put me 2 years past my out date because they wanted me out of there right away.
Okay.
And it was a blessing, man. Every day after July 17th is a new life and is extra for me.
That's what's up, man. Josh, we know we're going to come back into that and dig deeper. Tiffany G. Tiffany said, oh, no, man, oh, no. Tiffany, you just said she's here. She's a support system, right? Mm-hmm. And I know, Tiffany, it's been a long time coming, right? You are here to represent your family, the support system that Rev and them, and I know. We'll come back. I know it's tears of joy, though. I know. Because this is where the family, this is where it goes down, y'all.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? Tiffany has a loved one that we're going to lift up that is, doing, some time and stuff. But the thing is, she is here representing as a mother for all you mothers. Let me tell you, we all are indirectly, directly affected by this crazy system,
Amen.
right?
Amen.
You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
And, Rev, we've had you come in before and talk. You and shout out to Elder Orlando.
Yes.
He said, "Call me Orlando Gregory here." I'm gonna take off the cloak, to be in the podcast studio. And you guys are doing an awesome thing, the ministry on Sundays. But I know, and let's be real and raw. We've had people unfortunately, come to the podcast studio, talk about their story. Case in point. Tori, who's back in.
Yeah.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
But Tori came to us and was like, "Look, Miss Marjon, I had a problem, and I asked for help,
Yeah.
and I couldn't get it. And it wasn't until I just about went nuts, I finally got it, but it was too late.
Right.
So that's why we do what we do, y'all. That's why we do what we do. But I want to dig in deeper, definitely into your story, Josh and Tiffany, when you feel comfortable, and also tell us, Reverend Spruill, what's going on, what you seeing since we last spoke to you because you was like,
Right.
you know, one of
We had started a program last time. We had started the shadow programs last time we talked. We just got it launched in November last year. It's about I'll tell you, it's not about program. It's about pouring into the men's. Encourage them while they're incarcerated to get prepared to come out. So
Right.
it's not about getting out, but are you ready to come home, you know? And so while you're there, take advantage of the programs, get yourself prepared. So it's like you have to get ready, be ready.
Right.
So an opportunity, when the law changes like did for Josh, you be already ready to come, you know, and so get that jacket ready before you go before the judge. That'll be good, you know, and they want to see a change. And I've been going to now 5 years at Macomb, but I've seen guys have changed since becoming our Worship Service. Guys been part of our Shadow Step program. Through our Shadow Step program, a lot of guys now united with their families. They view things differently, you know, and give them some hope, you know. And I'm excited about being a part of a guy making a change. I see the change within while I'm there in facilities there. So it's giving me great hope that when an opportunity arises for him to come home, he'll be ready. So we already encourage him. Get ready, spend this time getting ready. So when your time comes, you'll be ready to go.
Yes. And that's one of the things I want to tap into with Josh and Tiffany when you know, feel like chiming in. You know, Josh, after you get out, you know, like I said, I keep hearing, you know, you get out, then what? You know what I'm saying? But before we talk about that, what happened when you got in, you know, or even tell us your story, his story.
Well, my mother was killed in a hate crime because she was a lesbian, her and her wife. And 6 months prior to that, my father died of AIDS. So by the time I was 15, my 15th birthday, they died within 6 months of each other. On May 5th, my mom and her wife were killed. May 26th, I turned 15. It was right downhill into gangs, guns, drugs, Southwest Detroit, like in the life. And I was hurt people. So I was lashing out in pain and didn't really understand what was going on in my mind. I felt like the man who killed my mother went to court downtown and said God made him do it. So I felt like society that wouldn't give my father health care for his HIV status, and he ended up dying. This neighbor who killed my mother's, I felt like society hated me, and in a way, being a part of gangs, which became my family, but also gave me an outlet to lash out on society. Living out that hurt people motto, because I didn't know how to rectify my pain. I didn't know how to have counseling or have anybody there for me. I had no brothers, no sisters, so none of that.
Wow.
So within an amount of literally less than 3 years, I was incarcerated for life without parole for a gang-related drive-by shooting in Southwest Detroit. Worse off, an innocent bystander was killed in my case. I didn't pull the trigger. I had rank. I told guys to go do some stuff, and they went and did it. I'm responsible. Doesn't matter if I was in the car. Doesn't matter if I was there. I made it happen. Therefore, I had to take that case. And in my case, they even asked me to take a plea, testify on my other guys, get a 10 to 15, which was what was offered.
Right.
But I had took an oath to that lifestyle, and I had made my choices. And without a family, the only family I had going into prison was my gang, was my organization. So I wasn't going to betray them. They were my brothers. Right. And I went into prison pretty bad. And as a young white kid involved in a primarily Latino and black organization in Southwest Detroit, I'll just say blue and black team. Y'all can put the G or the D together if you want to.
Right.
You know. But it was definitely not a disciple of Christ. So I had to kind of show out and be more about that life even in prison to survive. And then as my bit went along, I kind of learned how to become myself and learned how to regain my individuality and learned how to stand on my own 2 feet.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I took a lot of good things away from those organizations that that we worked with and that I was a part of. I grew in rank in prison. I was one of the highest ranking white guys in that organization in the state of Michigan. I was on security threat group status.
What?
So, but I also realized that it's real easy to tear down. It's hard to build with your hands. That takes some actual
Say
work.
that again, Josh.
It's real easy to tear down with your hands, but it's harder to build. And it actually takes some work, and you're creating value when you build with your hands. And I realized I had tore down enough. And what hit me was I didn't want the stamp on my life to be Josh Puckett, drive-by shooting, gang-related murder. Period. End of story. That was what it was going to be. I was sentenced to die in prison. So what I realized is, how do I affect society if I can't go back to society?
Right.
So then I wrote a mentoring book, Power of the Grind.
This was all in the pen.
In prison.
In the prison.
Yep.
Okay.
Then I wrote a civic engagement training handbook in prison. Then I wrote a gang intervention program in prison.
In prison. Right.
Nice.
In the first incarnation of our gang intervention program, Reverend Spruill and Orlando Gregory came into my class.
Right. So that's how y'all connected.
Absolutely.
And how did you connect with Tiffany?
Tiffany's son was the young cat that I was mentoring to take my position with the National Lifers of America. He now runs my programs inside.
What?
He teaches all those programs in units all over the facility where he's at in Macomb Correctional Facility.
Okay.
And yet he's also sentenced to life.
Right.
I got a second
Wow.
chance
Okay.
because when the law changed to allow 18-year-olds to be released and considered juveniles, I got my opportunity. Her son is 19 when it happened.
Yeah, he just turned 19.
So he was already considered adult, right? Was it?
Yeah.
That's how it looked.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the good thing is, within 60 days of my release, now when I was released, the prosecutor in Wayne County spoke up for me and said, this man's accomplishments, I got 3 college degrees in there, I got 2 vocational trades. Altogether, I wrote 4 books. My programs are being taught all over the DOC. Right now, we're trying to get our programs into juvenile justice facilities all over the state. I've been meeting with Third Circuit. We've been talking to Bridgeway. I'm going into Spectrum Juvenile Center in Highland Park on Friday, right? I got
Wow.
a wonderful team. I started 2 nonprofit organizations in prison.
Wow.
But because of what I was doing inside is what makes my life so successful out here now. And I've only been out it'll be 90 days tomorrow.
Get out of it, man. Y'all, wait. First of all, you just joining us. We're talking about cell to society. I got Reverend Spruill, who's he's got his prison ministry that's going on right now, and that he was connected through. I know you got and that's how we connected through Michigan Liberation,
Right.
and then we got Josh that's been out 90 days, 90 not 90 whatever months, 90 days. Tiffany, your son is currently incarcerated. You here support, man. Let me tell you something. It don't get more powerful than that, y'all. And you better stay tuned, man, because we're gonna do a part 2. But right now, so I'm sorry, I had 90 days.
90 days.
So because most people be like, 7 years, 5 years.
This is why I call guys, gentlemen like Josh. We call them trailblazers. Okay. And he didn't tell you when he got released, it was like 10 minutes interview.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we gonna get on that. Yeah.
it didn't take long. He did 29, but was released in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
10 minutes. It was a 10-minute.
10-minute interview with when
we
let
went,
me tell you his own story. how it
first off,
happened.
in January of this year
Right.
is when the law changed. By the time I got my court date in April, my judge saw me for all of 10 minutes on Zoom. Prosecutor spoke up for me. Judge spoke up for me. They basically said, we need people like you back in the community. Boop, here you go. You're done. I didn't even know it was over. I looked on the Zoom and said to my aunt, who was also on Zoom, the judge started putting stuff away. The prosecutor put her folder away. She walked away. And I went, that's it?
That's it.
I go from having a life sentence to 28 plus 2 for the gun, like 30,
in 10 minutes.
it's over in 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
I've done appeals, I've fought everything, all that. But when God operates in your life, he can make anything change like that.
Won't he do it?
Yep, and do it quick.
And he did it.
And
And-
Josh, he demonstrated such positive with all these things he accomplished while he was incarcerated. And when I met Josh, I mean, like, this guy, he was doing it on the inside. He was on fire. And Elder Lana always say, him and the other guys, they can go home like tomorrow because they prepared while incarcerated to come home. And he's a prime example while we keep instilling the guy, make preparation to come home. So when opportunity to arrive, you ready to go.
Right.
Hit the streets running. And he came home, he'd been a trailblazer along with other guys. And it just been a wild experience and how you can be incarcerated, but at the same time change into a person that can give back to society.
Right. Second look. Yeah. And you was getting ready to say something, Tiffany.
Oh, I was just saying, and that's what Josh has been. You know, he has been a great part in my son's life, and so has
Reverend Spruill.
Reverend Spruill's. My son he has just risen so far and so high, and when I call him, he's just so blessed, and he's doing so much in prison already. You know, I go and visit him, and he's got that Bible there, and he tells me, he says, you know, Mom, I don't care what church you go to, just, you know, please go to church, you know, and because he knows sometimes I get down and, you know, I have sad days, and he says, you just need to go to church, Mom, and it'll help you, and he'll open up the Bible and read a verse to me, and it'll hit me, and there's days I just don't think I'm gonna go, but he gives me that energy and that feeling, and I get up and I go, and he's I'm so proud of him. He's doing classes. I think he's already did his schooling. He's did his degree, got his GED.
Yeah.
He's
Good for
training
him.
dogs. He's just wants to go on and on. I think he's doing NA and A, and
Right.
he just loves everything. And if it wasn't for these two guys that he talks about so much, I mean, it's just wonderful.
Anthony, he's a role model. We talking about within the system. He's a role model there now for others.
Right.
Because in being incarcerated, you can say, if he can do it, I can do it.
I can do it.
Oh, he's done
Yes.
so
You know,
much.
And
I
so
bet.
I've seen the
So
change in
much.
Anthony. He comes there. He don't miss a church service. He's there every Sunday.
Every
and I can see
Sunday.
how positive he is and the energy he brings, you know.
That positive
And, yes,
adrenaline,
yes.
yeah.
Although
Rush.
he may be incarcerated, but guess what? Every day he's striving to become better and better and better, and a better person. So when his time comes, he's ready to go.
Exactly, y'all.
He was already like that already.
Oh, man.
Before he was home. I
Man.
mean, he was like that when he was home. But
Yeah.
I mean, he's already, I'm just glad to see him already. He's just a different, I mean, he Mom,
that
don't
transformation,
worry.
right?
Mom, don't worry. And I just want you to be okay. And I'm okay in here. I'm going to be okay. And we just got to pray. And everything's going to be okay. And it's just, he
gonna be.
keeps me going.
Yeah. Well, y'all, we got
So
about
thank
10
gosh.
minutes, but I knew that we were going to run through this show, this first episode. And y'all, you got to make sure you tune in for the next part, too, because we're going to go deeper with, I know Josh got some more, and I know you guys
yeah.
both have some more that you definitely want to put into the pot and stir and everything. But I just want to talk Tiffany real quick. You know, we got about 10 minutes. Just briefly tell me, you were full in the beginning. You were kind of emotional. What were you feeling? Sis? What were you feeling, sis?
This is hard for me. This is the first time I've talked about things.
Yeah.
It's hard because I really truly know what happened,
Right.
you know, and I can't really discuss too much, but my son was a good kid. He really was, and he wasn't really treated the best. But it took him to get to prison to I just know he would never really hurt anybody on purpose, and he never did.
Right.
And then he has to go through all this. And there's people out there that do way worse. And to see him get out, and this how the system's so
Yeah.
messed up. And then to hear Josh's story, it's you know, people can rehabilitate, and my son just, you know, sometimes he'll say, you know, gosh, you know, this person, I mean, he has done way worse, and they're already out, or they're walking out the door, but I got to keep my head up. You know, he says, I got to keep my head up, because that's what
Right.
God wants me to do, Mom. And to just have that heart
And then to hear Josh's story, you know, to hear his story about what happened, and you got to just be so strong in there, you know, and it's heavy.
Right. Let me ask you this, because like I mentioned to all of you offline, I've talked to some other mothers. What is something that you want to tell the mothers out there? Because there's somebody that's going to see this, and they need to have some words of encouragement. These tears we feeling your pain, Tiff.
You gotta surround yourself with, I don't know, you gotta just be strong and just have some hope, maybe, and just be around people that just can give you hope, because I never thought I'd be here today.
Right.
This is the first time I've gotten in my car by myself, and drove this far. It's really not that far, but to me it is.
Yeah.
You know, just to come this far and be with Josh, to do a second look, to learn and to fight, I guess. To fight for my son.
Right.
Honestly. And my son has talked so wonderful about sorry. I am so
About the red.
yeah, I gotta get that in my eye.
crew.
And yes, and he says, Mom, just please meet these guys. They're so wonderful. And so, you know, he means so much to me that I got my car, and with all the nerves and anxiety I had, I did it.
Right.
And I made it here today. And Josh, you know, I'm here for you too. So with all the mothers out there, just don't give up. Look, I'm here.
Yeah.
And you never know what can happen if we just fight, I guess. You know?
Because Tiffany, you were saying when we was out in the lobby, you know, I know your son is currently incarcerated, but you've lost you lost your other son, right?
Yes, I did. I lost Anthony lost his brother about almost 3 years ago.
Yeah.
He was 23.
Right.
And they say he committed suicide in Jackson County. But I don't believe he did, you know. But anyway, I believe it was something else.
Right.
We all do. But anyway, Anthony, that's another thing. That was difficult, you know. It's definitely changed our lives. And it's tough. It's really tough.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks,
But-
Tiff. Thanks,
You know.
Tiff. I know it's
This woman
It's
lost
her.
2 sons.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
lost one to the system, and then one to homicide, where the police, because of the lifestyle that he lived, because he had a little swag to him, they decided they didn't want to investigate. They didn't want to look into it. You know, they just deemed it a suicide when it was likely something else. But, you know, because he had certain activities that he did that a lot of us have to do to survive, they decided,
right.
we don't care.
Right. We got about 5 minutes on this episode. This is From Cell to Society, the Reentry Journey, Part 1. Part 2, we're going to go even harder and rawer. But in the last 4 minutes, y'all, what is it? Just Reverend Spruill, Josh, Tiffany, what do you want people to know? The nugget of this Part 1.
It's about, you know, the name of I'm the CEO of Helping Operation for People Empowerment.
Yeah.
And I'm telling people, we about empowering people, not about programs. I mean, pouring into people, and just to have my main ministry thing. One of the main thing we do in our organization is prison ministry, meaning that we want to pour into the guys, and at the same time they pour into us. Meaning they tell us how they really feel. We try to encourage them in classes on Sunday morning. You can do this. Quite naturally, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. But to be able to pour into guys, you know, guys we don't even know, you know, but we see that they're trying, they're reaching out and wanting to help. It's
Right.
our job to encourage them guys. Say, hey, it's not the end. MDOC did not have the last say so,
Say it.
And so you have to just keep being prepared, prep. So when your time comes, when you go before their judge with your jacket, they can look at you and say, okay, you came in 10 years ago this way, but since you've been here, you have to prepare yourself to come back out into society. That's pouring into men.
Right.
Okay.
Thanks, Rev. Tiffany, give me a minute. Something you want people to know, the nugget. You know what I mean?
I'm just, oh my gosh. There's just
It
so
can be
much
words,
I've
it
had.
can-
There's
yeah.
just so much I have in here with so many things that's happened. I'm just gonna say, do not give up, and whatever you believe in, just keep fighting for, because hopefully the system's gonna change and people will hear us, because I've kept things so deep inside and so quiet
Yeah.
since the day they took my son away in handcuffs. I've been a total different human being, and
We hear you. We hear you.
I feel good getting some of this off my chest.
Yeah, it's
but
therapeutic.
yes, it is definitely, and I'm just I'm really happy that you are there for these guys at the prison, because they need you. They really do. Because when I hear my son, telling me that it's how does he say it? The spirit, he can feel God
Oh, that spirit.
change him.
Right.
And when you actually know that God's working within you, to hear that, have a spiritual,
Right.
a reckoning and a spiritual, Mom, you will know. And the things he tries teaching me, it's like shame on me, because my son's telling me these things, and and it feels good to know my son is desperately,
Right.
but
But yeah.
But he's helping you.
But that's
Well,
it.
Exactly.
But that's it. And
He's
here's the
helping you.
thing, Josh, I know we got literally 20 seconds, but here's the thing, because that's how we do. In the next episode, part 2, I want you to give some words. I know we're going to talk about more of your story, but Reverend Spruill, Tiffany, Josh, kudos to all of y'all. It takes a
Respect
lot
the
to come
roots.
up in here. But this is the safe place. This is where
Right.
we got to make change.
Yeah.
So it's
See what
all
I'm
about
saying?
respecting
So
the roots.
yeah, so respect the roots. Say it together, y'all.
Respect the roots.
Until next time, y'all. Part 2 coming up. Michigan Liberation Education Fund, C3, conducts grassroots organizing, leadership development, and civic engagement activities.
I think this is
Michigan
a good show.
Liberation C4
think it is
and
too.
Michigan Liberation Action Fund, IE, are sister organizations.